The good folks at YoloLiv have brought us the YoloDeck, compatible with both the YoloLiv Ultra and now, as of version 5.5.0, also compatible with the YoloBox Pro. This is a 15-button hardware switcher that is completely configurable. We're going to walk through a couple of the ways to do this, and I want you to know, first rattle out of the box, it is so easy. They have made this thing so easy to use. I'm going to set it up in a couple of use case scenarios for myself and take you along the journey as we do so. I'm Jason Hoffman. My goal is to help you have the confidence to just press go live. Let's take a peek at the YoloDeck from YoloLiv. So it is an aluminum housed 15-button device. It has one port on it, and that's the USB-C port that gives us both power and connectivity back to the YoloBox Ultra or YoloBox Pro. In the box, you're going to get about a 7 or 8 foot USB-A to USB-C cable. On the USB-C end, it is 90 degrees, which makes it really easy to plug in there and great for cable management. You're also going to get a very well done quick start guide. Now, this guide is well written. It's easy to follow. They did a fantastic job on the quick start guide for the YoloDeck. So let me get this put on the stand, which also comes in the box. This little stand folds up nice and flat. It has a couple of different ways that you can prop it up for a couple of different viewing angles. I'm going to set it as high as it will go for this particular job today. My setup today includes my front-facing cameras that are going to give us a picture of what's happening here on the work surface, as well as a couple of OBSBot tail airs that are going to be doing the heavy lifting for our close-up views. So let me set this back in its stand, make sure that it is centered up the way we want it. We'll switch over to that view. We are recording this in the YoloBox Ultra, or using the YoloBox Ultra. So let's plug that in. It comes on. Based on that initial startup screen, this tells me this is a single screen with capacitive buttons. Now, I have not verified that with any source yet, but having it all be one image across the 15 buttons and then be able to do the ease of use of just dragging and dropping our desired actions to each button makes me think we're probably dealing with a screen behind here that has capacitive touch buttons in each of these spaces. So you get your 15 configurable, customizable buttons as it comes up, and this is the default. It comes like this from their production. So you can see the go live on the bottom left, the record in the next button, the fade to black button there. The left and right buttons here on the bottom right are going to be what switches between screens. It says we have unlimited number of screens that we can actually attach to this. So I could scooch over one screen if I had that configured, and it would give me a whole new set of buttons configured to do a whole new set of actions. That's going to be incredibly useful for those of us that stream in different different setups. So I'm thinking today I'm going to set you up with a football streaming panel, a football streaming screen that's going to have inputs, it's going to have overlays, it's going to have scoreboard, and the ability to manipulate that scoreboard from the buttons here. Friday nights in my life during the fall include working the press box. In the press box, my job is to do the public address announcing. So I'm calling the game as each play ends. I over the loudspeaker call out what the play was, who the players were involved, and let folks know the new, down, distance, all the information that's important for keeping up with that game. There are times when I need to set my cameras up and just be able to switch between them because I'm the cameraman and the PA announcer. It's a little bit of a load, but if you can find a rhythm, it works really well. So if I can have a 3 or 4 or 5 camera system, and I can have something like the YoloDeck, which is a physical button device that will allow me to, with muscle memory, just know If I need this camera, I press this button. If I need this camera, I press this button. If it's time to change the score, I press this button. That makes it so easy for me to multitask, which is not as easy as it used to be the older I get. And it makes my production ability so much better. So let's look at what the YoloLiv Ultra is going to need in order to configure this YoloDeck to work in unison. Now, we've plugged in our USB-C port cable here to the top of the YoloDeck. We have the USB-A end plugged into the YoloBox Ultra here on my desk. Now, I do have a confidence monitor over here set up to my right so that I can see a little bit better. The length of this cable means, though, I can set all this up in the bay to my left in the press box, have all my camera stuff set up where it always is. I can go ahead and have all of the things configured for my YoloBox Ultra, and then just run my YoloDeck over to where I am and be able to control pretty much the entirety of the game, switching cameras, changing score, changing views, doing my overlays, doing my advertisements and announcements that come from my sponsors. All those things can be configured to be run through the YoloDeck. All right, let's get down to business a little bit. Let's switch over to that view so you can see what's happening on the YoloDeck itself. We'll go between there and this one, which is showing you the program out. So in the YoloBox Ultra, I'm going to need to swipe over to my settings. At the very bottom of my settings, we have a new option called YoloDeck Configuration. I'm going to tap on YoloDeck Configuration. I've read that before. I'm going to ask it not to show it again now that you too have seen it. And then we'll hit Configure. So now I actually have a picture, a view of all the buttons on this particular scene for my YoloDeck. And I can drag and drop what I want to the button, and it changes it immediately. Hit my save, get back out of it, and I have set up what I need for the buttons to be pressed for my live stream. Let's get back into that. So I'm going to run my camera sources across the top. My first source is going to be one of my HDMI inputs. I'm going to tap on it, drag it, and bring it over. We'll confirm that. Now source one is going to be the camera that I know it's going to be. At some point, I hope we have the ability to see what source one actually is in this list. It's HDMI 1 for me. I want HDMI 2 to be my source 2. And I want NDI source 1 and source 2 to be my source 3 and my source 4. So it's going to be that all 4 of these are actually not going to change as I drag them over. I can choose this to be anything I want to. So I think what I'm going to do is look through these settings, and I'm going to stack my scene change. I'm going to do my last config here. Confirm, and now I have my scene change over here to the left. Okay, so my source at the top, my source 5, I'm going to run an overlay. I think I want that to be overlay 1. So I'm going to bring that up to source 5. Now that's going to change to overlay 1, and overlay 1 should have been my transparent football that I have to be the background of my scoreboard. Okay. Now I'm going to get into the scoreboard part, and I'm going to ask for some plus and minus score for my next set of buttons. So I'm going to do home score plus 1, confirm, and I'm going to do home score plus 2, stacked top to bottom. For a football game, 1 and 2 is really enough. I am going to go ahead and give myself the -1 as well, because sometimes I overshoot and I need to do that. All right, let's look at the away score plus 1. We'll put it in this column. Away score plus 2 we'll put here. And we'll do away score. Where's away score -1? we'll take it and put here. All right, so I have my 4 camera sources. I have one of my overlays. I've changed my mind again. I'm going to do my other overlay, overlay number 2, which will be my, today will just be a graphic placeholder that is a graphic for our sports settings anyway. And so now I have one button left that's still from the original. I have my 4 sources. I have overlay 1 and 2. I have my scoreboard options there, plus and minus. What's going to be, replay. That's what it needs to be. That needs to be my replay button, because I do like to run a replay in football games. And so start replay is going to be a great button to have there. So now I have my whole scene set up as a football scene. As soon as you hit save, it changed those to be exactly what we had on the screen. And so now we have one of my scenes being completely football related. 4 camera shots, a couple of overlays, my scoreboard's up and down, and the ability to run a replay. Okay, so let's go back into YoloDeck configuration. And I'm going to add a second screen to have a different scene for. I could actually set those up and then just scroll through and find the one that I need, and it's all pre-configured to have my camera shots, to have my overlays, to have all the things that I would want in order to run that live stream. Great configurability, great customization of the YoloDeck, built right into the YoloBox Ultra or Pro now that 550 has come out, and it is as easy as just dragging and dropping. I do know that there are some functions here that we haven't looked at and that I have not highlighted yet. The PDF function is going to be great for some folks, because you want a physical button to go forward and backward on your PDFs and not try to have to hit the YoloBox Ultra or Pro screen. It just makes it that much easier to know you're hitting a physical button, and that makes the change for you. So on scene 2, I'm just simply going to run 3 sources into this setup. Oop, I missed on that one. Do the same thing with some overlays. I could have done that better. We're going to change. Now notice you can tap on a button that's already there and move it to a different spot. That's a great feature. I don't have to go back and find it in the menu. I can just set it up like it is, like I want it there. And now we're going to do a home score +1, a home score -1. We're going to do an away score +1, and then away score -1. We're going to start replay, and we're going to do a go live button on this one. And this one will be my baseball setup, because I only, I did a -2 on the scoreboard there. Let's change that to -1. There we go. So now I have filled up a second scene, and this one can be baseball. 3 cameras, 4 overlays for my announcements or my sponsorships that I need for my in-between inning. +1, -1 for both home and away on the scoreboard. I can do a replay here, and I have my go live button. You see just how easy and effective this is. Now I'm going to hit save, and as soon as I do, it will have updated the YoloDeck. So now I have a scene that I can scroll over to, and there it is. There's my baseball scene. There's my football scene. They work incredibly well. It is instantaneous. It is easy to use. So let's talk price. $149 on Amazon will get you this YoloDeck to be able to add to your live stream setup. There's an affiliate link in the description if you'd like to use that. It sure does support this channel. This little device, available from the folks at YoloLiv, is a great addition to your live streams.